Lots to talk about here today. Today is one of my favorite days of the year on the Catholic calendar. If you're not a Catholic, this won't mean anything to you, but it's still a cool story. So maybe you'll look the story up and go like, "Oh, TKD was telling the truth." Very cool story. Today is the feast day of Venerable. Is he venerable or is he blessed? Blessed. The man is called Herman the Lame, and it's one of the greatest stories of all of Christendom. Basically, you all know the story, kinda, because who wrote Hunchback of Notre Dame? Hugo. What's his name? I can't remember his name. The guy that wrote Hunchback of Notre Dame basically got the idea of the Hunchback from the story of Herman the Lame. Also called Herman Contractus. And the story is that this child was born in, I think it's in Bavaria, right? Somewhere in Germany, old Germany. And he is horribly disfigured and deformed when he's born. And it's obvious to his parents, who are farmers, that because his legs basically aren't there or won't be able to function, he won't be any use to them on the farm, and he will be a drain on a strapped and taxed family. So they make the decision to bring him to a monastery. So they bring him to the brothers at a nearby abbey, and they just leave him. It's the old Babe Ruth story with, the kid being dropped off at the doorstep with a note saying, "Please take care of my baby. I'm unable to." And the brothers take him in. I'm not going to do the whole story now, but it's just a wonderful story. The brothers take him in and come to find out later in life, Herman is a genius. He is literally Stevie Wonder. He's a musical genius. And he writes so many songs, a couple of which, if you are Catholic, you know by heart today. One of them is Salve Regina. And it's a great, to me, it's one of the best stories ever. The brothers take him out into the field, and he insists, "Oh, no, you got to let me work." And so they rig a little cart up for him so he can pull himself through the field, and, he can have his little half hoe. But the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the movie and all that, that's all based on, that idea came from Herman the Cripple. So most people don't know that. So it's a great feast day. For those of you that have, God bless you, that have children, that have whatever special gifts, shall we say. And those of you that, Victor Hugo, KV2 and Chi in the chat room, thank you very much. Good to see you in the chat room this morning, Mr. Turley. For those of you that have children that have whatever special talents, like Herman the Lame, God bless you. You may have a Herman, you may be raising a Herman the Lame. It's an inspirational story for everyone, and everyone should always remember it. Also, today is National Daughters Day. If you got daughters, if you have daughters, call them up, give them a kiss, tell them you love them, give them a hug if they're nearby. National Daughters Day. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? We're fired up here. I want to talk about Ryan Wesley Routh and Stephen Paddock. Miniature plane! How can you connect Stephen Paddock to Ryan Wesley Routh? Well, if you don't remember, on October the 31st, 2017, gunfire erupted from the 37th floor window of the Mandalay Bay Casino. Jason Aldean, among others, was having a big hoop-de-doo country music festival down in the parking lot or in the fairgrounds around the Mandalay Bay Casino. It had been going on all day long, and it was a Sunday, which if you heard my reporting on this, my theory is that Stephen Paddock had gone to the crossroads, made the deal with the devil, and the price that he paid were the 58 lives. So it's 58 including him. 58 lives that he took that day with his machine gun fire or semi-automatic weapon fire from the 37th floor window. And included in that were a couple of cops, a couple of police officers were killed. There's a documentary out about it already. It's not very good. They didn't explore how Paddock did it. Which to me, the real story is, okay, well, how did he get 2,000 pounds of weapons and ammunition up to the 37th floor? What? It's called 11 minutes. Okay, so 11 minutes is how long he was raining holy terror down onto the people below. The FBI and the Metro Las Vegas Police Department, the MLVPD, gave up on trying to figure out what Paddock's motivation was and what his intentions were and why he did it. So they closed the investigation about a year after it had begun. Unfortunately, this was in the early days of the CRUSADE Radio Network, and we weren't keeping very good records there then. So I don't know. I don't have all there is a post on CrusadeChannel.com that puts together 3 shows that I did on the subject. And going through the details of what we knew and what we know about it. And what we know about Stephen Paddock was that he was just like Ryan Routh. How did this guy have a $1.5 million tab at the Mandalay Bay Casino? He also, they called them markers. He had a marker at Caesar's Palace. He had a marker at Bally's. This guy was a postman. Is KY a postman in the chat room? He was a postman. He was a mailman. How did he have a $500,000 marker at 3 casinos? A private plane. He was living in the penthouse suite. Basically, when he wasn't in Vegas, he was living in the penthouse suite at another casino in Reno. So where did he get all this money from? Where did he get the plane? Well, he made a deal. I know people find this farcical and fantastical. You know, they believe in demons and the stories in the movies, but in real life, not so much. Believe it, real life. It really this happened. There's no video. There's only like 2 video clips of that remain of Paddock going into one of them is I think he went into a Cabela's, some sporting good store. They have a video clip of him there. And then there is a second video clip of him, the only 2 that I know of that exist, and the Las Vegas Police Department was completely baffled as to how he avoided the cameras in the Mandalay Bay. Well, he didn't avoid the cameras. The demons cut him off. It's called preternatural assistance here. They had video. They had recordings from those cameras. There was just nothing on them. So Paddock had made the deal with the devil is the point. The price to pay for the plane and the babes and the markers at the casinos and all that, the price to pay was murder. Take 57 souls, send them to judgment, and you did it in Las Vegas on a Sunday where maybe people should have been doing other things. I'm not going to sit here in judgment, but if I was a demon and I wanted to harvest souls, that's probably a place I would think you would be able to harvest a lot of them that would be on the wrong side of the 4 final things. I didn't know this, though. I had not seen this after the fact that, of course, it's going to be the last story. No, it's not going to be a story at all. His brother was investigated.
It's in there. It was the second story.
Oh, I got it. I was looking for a different headline. Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock's brother arrested in child porn probe. Kamala Harris wants red flag laws. What would a red flag, what the hell good is a red flag law if Stephen Paddock didn't trigger every red flag known to exist in the universe? What good would a red flag law do? We need a red flag law, and we need to confiscate assault weapon, but I'm not going to take your guns. Is it a coincidence that after the fact, the feds have an investigation and find that Paddock's brother is supposedly a kiddie porn peddler? This is from October 2017. Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock's brother arrested in child porn probe. The estranged brother of Las Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock was arrested Wednesday on child pornography charges stemming from an investigation that predates the massacre. Bruce Paddock, 58, was detained at a L.A. assisted living facility where he was awaiting surgery for spinal stenosis. A felony complaint said he had over 600 explicit images of minors in 2014 and had also swapped pornography. He faces 19 counts of sexual exploitation of a child, 1 count of possession of child pornography. The complaint says he's being held a $60,000 bond. The LAPD said the images were discovered inside a building where Paddock was squatting, but they could not find him at the time after his brother's crime. They learned where he was and obtained a warrant. An attorney for Paddock said had represented him in criminal matters in the past, told NBC News he was no longer representing him and declined to comment. Another brother, Eric Paddock, who lives in Florida, said he had no comment on the arrest. At the time of the mass shooting on October the 1st that left 58 people dead, Bruce Paddock had told NBC News that he had not been in touch with his brother, Stephen, for 10 years. I don't know how he could stoop to this low point, hurting someone else. It wasn't suicide by cops since he killed himself. He killed a bunch of people and then he killed himself. So he didn't have to face whatever it was. Well, I'm going to tell you what it was. It was a Faustian deal that was made with a demon at the crossroads in Mississippi. That's what it was, or wherever the crossroad was. Here's the interesting thing, though. Now Ryan Wesley Routh's son is the subject of another investigation and has now been arrested. Here's a story from amgreatness.com. Son of Trump's alleged would-be assassin Ryan Routh arrested in North Carolina on kiddie porn charges. From amgreatness.com today, or yesterday. The son of Ryan Wesley Routh, former president, was arrested on federal charges of possessing child pornography. Coincidence? Hold on. Federal investigators seized multiple electronic devices during a search of 35-year-old Orrin Alexander Routh's home in Guilford County, North Carolina. On Saturday, and discovered hundreds of files with child porn, according to the criminal complaint. The search was conducted, quote, in connection with an investigation unrelated to child exploitation. The complaint states, referring to the investigation into his father, Ryan Routh, who was accused of trying to assassinate Trump last week as he golfed at his... Investigators said the kiddie porn was found on 2 Samsung Galaxy Note devices in Routh's possession. A review of the SD card located in device 1 revealed that it contained hundreds of child pornography files. Now, who buys this? Hold on. They still haven't cracked Crooks's phone. How the hell did you get into his phone in a day? Maybe you gave it to him? Maybe you knew the code to unlock it because it was your phone? There's still supposedly a phone that Hunter Biden owned that they haven't cracked. But they got this kid's phone. I say kid, he's a 39-year-old. They got this man's phone and they got into it in one day? These files include videos from a known child pornography series created outside the state of North Carolina. The complaint included a chat and a message app that is commonly used to distribute child porn, in which Orrin Routh allegedly responded to someone advertising the content. Now they got chat messages? We still don't know what was on Thomas Crooks's phone, who had 7 supposedly now, who had 7 chat message apps that he was sending messages to people in foreign countries. Now, this is all alleged, and we'll never know because no one knows where the phones are, but supposedly the FBI couldn't crack them and couldn't get into them. But they got this guy. They got him in a day. And not only did they get one phone, they got two. Wow, you guys have upgraded. You've upgraded yourselves. Previously, you couldn't hack into anybody's phone. Now you're just like gangbusters, man. Just give me your phone. Oh, yeah, we're the FBI, the authorities have opened the phone. Here's my theory on this. And I guess they think we're all stupid, and most people are. It just doesn't make any sense that this goofball, and then he leaves this alleged the note, and then he leaves the gun, and he leaves the package to the guy he sends it to. Don't open till Christmas or whatever. Don't open until you'll know when to open. None of this makes any sense. His whole thing is just riddled with setup all over it. It just screams setup, and it's not even a good one. This is what the federal authorities think of me and you. At this point, they just don't care. It doesn't matter to them whether or not you and I stumble onto this, or whether or not we think that there is something that they were in on it, and that they've kind of left the paper trail here. It seems to me, I'm just stringing little ideas together here. As a matter of fact, Mrs. O'Connell blurted this out during a show prep this morning, and I said, I think you're right. Seems to me that the feds were blackmailing, that the feds were using, he was a useful idiot, a guy, a clown, like a government, a conspiracy theorist, Trump-hating nutbag. We're flying this dude all over the world doing whatever they don't want official footprints for. They don't want paper trails that point back to State Department officials. They don't want paper trails or digital trails that point back to someone that's actually in the employ of the federal government. Instead, use a patsy. Convince this guy. You know, I'm gonna ask George Webb about this if George can join us today. If not, I'm sure George will join us tomorrow. And he's been reporting on this. I'm gonna ask George Webb about this because this just seems to me now just is becoming routine. How many of these well-placed, underachieving losers the federal authorities have out there to carry out their dirty work? And I think we're all naive in thinking that all the cloak and dagger stuff is done by James Bond-like characters. Maybe most of the cloak and dagger stuff is done by useful idiots who are conned into believing that you love your country, don't you? Conned into believing that they're doing something that is righteous, far out, solid, right on, mom, America, apple pie, baseball, and all that. It seems likely to me now, there's a radio host guy here, that the feds blackmailed Ruth, because if you read the story from Ryan Routh, you keep saying, I loved my dad. I love my dad. My dad's a great dad. He's not capable of harming people. What? He doesn't even own a gun. What are you talking about? He had a rifle. He was going to shoot Trump. I mean, I hate Trump too. And I'm paraphrasing what the son has said. But the son is out there bearing witness and giving testimony and on social media saying that his dad was stars, but his dad was an all-American dad. So why is the all-American dad in the bushes at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach on Sunday on the Feast of Our Lady of Sorrows with a high-powered weapon? There was no indication, and conveniently with the serial number filed off of it, with a high-powered rifle that would have put him within 50 feet of Trump. I saw Trump, that event yesterday in Georgia, in Savannah, Georgia. Justin and I watched the whole thing, and Trump talked about it, and he said in 10 minutes that Secret Service guy hadn't discovered that dude. In 10 minutes, I'd have teed off on that hole, I'd have hit my second shot, and I'd have been on the green. In 10 minutes, he'd have had a clear shot at me from about 50 yards. So how does this guy find himself there with the ability to exploit a well-known weakness in Secret Service security there and to try and take a shot at President Trump? Simply put, you're just as smart as I am. The feds were blackmailing the guy. Either take Trump out or your son goes down for kiddie porn. Well, my topic for the last segment, which is, did they blackmail Ryan Wesley Routh into trying to assassinate President Trump? Or is he, as George Webb said, he never was going to kill him? He was just there to keep the story on the headline and to keep us from talking about him and not looking for the Iranians that we now know. Did you see yesterday there was a Secret Service FBI intel briefing with President Trump yesterday? They briefed him and they basically told him it's true. There are at least a pair of Iranian assassins in the United States, and they have orders to kill you. Now, I have to ask the question, why do the Iranians want to take him out? Harris seems to be giving them everything that they want, right? Well, there's your... when he talks about I had them, they were broke. Iran was broke. They couldn't sell any oil. They're going to do anything to anyone. And then Biden comes along and reverses everything. And now look what happened. I don't talk a lot about this and haven't in the last couple of days. I touched upon it. Are you following what the IDF is doing to the people of Lebanon now? This is no longer just about the neighbor to the north that poses an imminent threat because it's a landmass that's connected to us. We have to do this. Now they're taking their ira out on the people of Lebanon. Well, I just happen to know some people from Lebanon. Those of you that took the Philosophia Perennis course at the St. Augustine Institute with Brother Andre Marie and Brother Francis, you know a Lebanese person, a Lebanese man very well. They're shelling areas. Okay, the alerts go out. You should leave your home in Lebanon. So you're dropping bombs on civilian targets? Yeah, but we have information there may be there's a Hezbollah. A Hezbollah there? The world is screaming at the Israelis, stop. And they won't. I hate to say that. I really do. Let me see. How can I put this without people going on? I knew it. If Trump is not elected, because he says he'll bring this to an end. Yeah, and I know that he met with the Israelis and said he's the greatest Israeli ever. He is pals up with the Zionists. Yes, I'm well aware. It's tragic. Sorry, we don't get everything we want on this go-around. You just got to deal with that. But if Trump doesn't do it, for whatever reason, for the unthinkable were to occur, and Harris and Waltz would somehow steal the regime, take it over, who's going to stop these lunatics in Israel? Well, I keep coming back, the simple answer is Iran. The Iranian guy to the UN yesterday got up there and basically gave a speech. I had to listen to some of it through an interpreter, but was basically asking that question, and I didn't hear the whole thing, so I don't know if he answered it, but who's going to stop it? We're on the verge of World War III here. You have Zelensky coming over here, broadcasting to the world that the United States is supplying him with weapons of mass destruction, 155 millimeter howitzer shells. You think Putin doesn't watch CNN? You think the Russians don't know where an artillery shell that's fired from Ukraine and lands inside Russia and kills Russian boys, where it came from? The Decepticons are watching the world burn. Maybe they're trying to burn it down because they think Trump's going to be elected and he's going to try and stop some of it. And maybe that also explains why they're trying so desperately to kill him. Let's go back to Ryan Wesley Routh for a minute. This man does not fit the profile of any sort of assassin that ever lived. I mean, at least Lee Harvey Oswald did handle a weapon. At least you had some plausible deniability with Lee Harvey Oswald, and you could say that Oswald was at least trained to use the gun, might even be trained to have been a sniper of sorts or a marksman of sorts. So at least Oswald knew how to operate the darn thing. Where is there any indication now that Ryan Wesley Routh is a would-be assassin? Here's another one. How does he know in advance that he's going to fail? You write a note saying that you're going to go try and kill the president of the United States, but you already know that you're not going to be successful and you're going to fail? Who does that? Who writes? Who writes a note? Sorry, I tried to kill Trump and I failed, son. But you know what? Better luck next time. Now you have to take over and you must do the. You must do what? That's the family business now? Assassinating presidents? No, the family business is jet setting around the world, setting torch fires on behalf of the State Department and the Biden regime. That's the family business. None of this stuff, none of this crap adds up, folks. It just stinks to high heaven. I think that the takeaway from all this, ladies and gentlemen, and welcoming all of you that are just tuning in, it's Mike Churchill on the Crusade Radio Network. You should hop into the Crusader Stadium chat room. We're making chat rooms great again today, by the way. I'm in there. Maggie O'Connell is in there. Good to see all of you. 46 chatters live going on this morning. Think about this one. Or think about this. In the Tom Clancy novels, the G-men are the good guys. As much as I hate to say it, Eric Byron. When you see Eric Byron, you see the true ugliness that is the world. Eric Byron, there is this character whose name is Jack Ryan, right? In the Amazon series, John Krasinski plays him in the Amazon series, which they think they said was the final season, right? So they're 3 seasons and done. But Clancy creates his character, Jack Ryan. You all know and love the movie The Hunt for Red October. Eric Byron plays Jack Ryan. Remember, there's an iconic scene there. He says, "You got to get me. You have to get me on that sub." And my point is, and Ben Affleck plays him in Clear and Present Danger. He plays Jack Ryan. So a series of Jack Ryan has been a character in American entertainment and media for 3 decades now. He's a good guy. He literally is Mom, apple pie, red, white, and blue, and I'll take a bullet for you guy. And it's not to say that there aren't those guys out there, but they're not running the show. We don't have any Jack Ryans. The point is that Jack Ryan is, we now know, a complete and total fictional character. We should say that with the greatest remorse and lament. That's not a good thing. I want to believe that there are Jack Ryans, don't you? Instead, what evidence do we have that anyone in the federal monstrosity is a Jack Ryan? Instead, we have all the evidence that you could add up that people are incompetent jerks who are in on the scams. They're all Merrick Garlands. They're all Kim Cheadles. They're all Director Ronald Rose. They're all James Clapper. How the hell is that guy still walking the earth and not in jail? It ought to be disappointing to the average American person out there that our government is now filled with people that hate us, that hate they hate the very population that they are sworn to protect. And it seems that they just exist to conspire to make our lives miserable. Let's hire more IRS agents so we can arrest more citizens. Oh, what a great idea that is. Is there no other way to obtain revenue? Is there no other way to run this government of ours? No, we need to arrest the citizenry. Oh, great. I can't wait to vote for that. I can't wait to say yes. I give my permission for that. Something is very, very, very wrong here. The wheels have come off. The plane's crashed into the mountain. And yet we have an election coming up. By the way, you know what's going to happen today on National Daughter Day? You know what's going to happen today? What's going to happen this afternoon, Ms. O'Connell? Tell our play news gal for a second. What's going to happen in the House of Representatives today? Okay, forget. I'll do it. Here's what's going to happen in the House of Representatives today. They're going to vote on a continuing resolution. It's not going to have the SAVE Act attached to it. Oh, but wait. Yeah, we don't have time to put the SAVE Act on the floor for a vote. But Speaker Zion King sure as hell has time to say hello to Roseanne Cash and unveil a statue of Johnny Cash in the Capitol building yesterday. Not that I have anything against Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash. Who doesn't? This is the people's business now, unveiling statues of guitar players in the Capitol, wherever they put him at. I watched this and I went, what the hell's going on here? Why aren't you fixing the $37 trillion screaming elephant in the room? Speaker, he literally was, I watched it. He was at the ceremony. I don't know where, I guess they had it in one of the office buildings for the House of Representatives or the Senate. But they had a big hoop-de-doo ceremony. All of his survivors, surviving heirs, Johnny Cash's heirs were there. And they unveiled a big statue of the man in black yesterday. And I'm going like, this is the business of Congress now? Oh, come on, dude. You're yanking my chain. True story. They're going to pass the continuing resolution today. Yeah, Maggie has it on her screen. Here, go ahead, throw that up there for the folks watching at home. There it is, right there. I guess it's a good statue. You know, he does have a Bible in his right hand.
Speaker Johnson is there.
Well, all the usual suspects are there.
And Jeffries.
My point is not against Johnny Cash. My point is, you guys, we're supposed to be talking about a government shutdown. And you're unveiling statues of Johnny Cash. You literally have created a burning ring of fire in the Capitol building. 844-527-8723. Yeah, Ted in New Jersey in the chat room says, D.C. acts like it's just another day in the park instead of acknowledging that we're on the edge of the cliff. By the way, you can join our chat on YouTube. You have to be a subscriber, so go ahead and subscribe on the CRUSADE Radio Network stream on YouTube, and you can join the chat there as well to hear what you have to say about what's going on. Is this just another day? You know what this is? This is a freaking Chicago song. Sunny day in the park. What is it? Is that 24 or 5 to go? Is that the name of that song? It's just another day in the park. Thomas Massey has been warning about this. There have been hearings in the House Ways and Means Committee, which he is a member of. And he's been going like, yeah, I know what's going to happen, guys. I can tell you what's going to happen. I have this shiny new thing called the SAVE Act. They're going to use that, and they're going to tell us all that they're going to attach it to the CR. And then, like, and Massey even said it was hilarious. He goes, and they're going to do it to us again. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be Lucy holding the football, and Charlie Brown's going to run in to kick it, and she's going to pull it away. The football is the SAVE Act, and she's going to pull it away at the last moment, and Speaker Johnson is going to pass that CR. By the by, Jillian Michaels is emerging as a MAGA Trump person. Are you seeing this? Well, she's on Fox and Friends right now. She was at that event that we were playing the audio with Dr. Casey Means yesterday. And, by the way, more big shocking news out there. The former director of the CDC, what's his name, Redfield, has endorsed Trump. He told RFK Jr., okay, I said you were wrong when I was a CDC director. You're not wrong. You weren't wrong about anything. I was wrong. Let's just eavesdrop on this conversation here.
But
because it's all about food safety now.
Low-hanging fruit. She said, this is what they give the kids in Canada. These are the Fruit Loops. And it's colored with things like carrot and beet juice. And here, they're all artificial food dyes.
Why is that? What's
money?
Okay, so we talked about it. By the way, if you're keeping score at home, Jillian Michaels, Trump endorsement. Danica Patrick, Trump endorsement. So there are single cat ladies Because I think Danica Patrick is a single cat lady. Pretty sure Jillian Michaels, because she's a lesbian, is a single cat lady.
They got kids.
Oh, do they? Well, are they their kids? We should go and get that clip from Thomas Massey because it's so funny. I think it's all.
They actually adopted from Haiti.
Okay. Maggie's saying that Jillian Michaels and her lesbo concubine adopted children from Haiti. We should get the clip from Massey talking about Lucy from Charlie from the Peanuts strip and the football. And that they're going to do it to us again. Do we know when this vote is supposed to happen? And look, you can call your congressman. You can go online and look up a congressional office of your congressman is going to be a 202 area code. And you can call your congressman and you can say, don't vote. I want you to vote no. And they're going to take your name down and all that stuff. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. Maybe we stopped doing it. Maybe we shouldn't have. Yes.
It just says today.
It just says today. When Joe Doyle comes on next hour, we're going to talk about the Al Smith dinner, which is coming up, in which Kamala Harris, Comrade Kamala, is not going to go to. You know who was the last candidate for the presidency that did not attend the Al Smith dinner? I'm not going to spoil it for you, but he didn't win. In any event, Joe Doyle knows his story like the back of his hand, and actually the origins of the Al Smith dinner and what it used to be. Here's an interesting note. How many of you know the comedian Jim Gaffigan? Well, I didn't know this until this morning, until I read, because we have a story about the Al Smith dinner today. Jim Gaffigan is actually hosting the Al Smith dinner, and Jim Gaffigan apparently is an out-of-the-closet Catholic. And you've probably seen, he's in a series of TV commercials. We watch the TV commercials that Jim Gaffigan is in. In any event, we're going to talk about all this. Here, let's do this. I want to stay on the subject of that Ryan Wesley Routh was blackmailed. Simple people can be motivated by the simplest of things. Putting a child in jeopardy is a simple thing. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to explain it. You don't have to be super mom or super dad to love your child and then to be at the mercy of a government that tells you, we're going to take everything from you. If you don't go out there, look, we kind of trained you. We provided you with the weapon. You know the drill. You have been activated. He'll be, okay, to the people that say, who leaked out that Trump was going to be on that golf course that day when it said that Ruth was staking it out for 12 hours. So the thought is maybe that he just of his own free will and volition thought, he guessed that Trump might be there. Well, what if he didn't guess? What if he was told? What if his handlers at the FBI or the OSS or whatever the MK Ultra or whatever the hell agency he works for, what if they told him, we got a tip, we got a lead, he's playing golf tomorrow, it'll be at Trump International. There is this is the thing to me that tells me inside job. How does this loser dude, who is a former construction worker, how does he know where the Secret Service has identified the weakest spot and the most likely place someone would try to kill someone at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida? By the way, no one is talking about this, but don't let this escape your view. Donald Trump owns that property. It's his property. They're talking about it like it's the property of West Palm Beach County and it's a public course. It's not a public course. It's a Trump International course. It's his. He owns it. He owns the land. He owns the course. That's his weak spot, in other words. Did they not tell him? Now, for those of you that say the Secret Service isn't, okay, all right, fine. Let me play Diablo Advocata. Did they tell him there was a weak spot on that golf course? There are memos going all the way. Dan Bongino spilled the beans There are memos going all the way back to 2017 or 2016. The first time the Secret Service had to guard Trump when he was playing golf, when he was running for the presidency, or when he was the nominee or whatever. There are memos going back that identified there is a weak spot there. There is a place where somebody could take a shot. It wouldn't be that hard. How did Ryan Routh just happen to wind up in that place that's identified in those memos? Not just one memo, in those memos. Are you buying that that's a coincidence? I'm going with the blackmail route. And that at the last minute, as soon as that Secret Service agent started firing, as soon as live ammo started flying, he did what a 57-year-old coward would do. He ran. He frickin' ran. I mean, just the amateurish nature of hanging the shopping bags up with the ceramic plates in it, as if that's going to act like some kind of body armor. I suppose it might deflect a bullet or a round, but folks, none of this it just doesn't make sense. 844-527-8723, our call and line telephone number, 844-5-CRUSADE. And again, let's go back to we were talking about Stephen Paddock earlier and how these two may be related here. Was Stephen Paddock's brother going to tell the feds or going to tell the world what he really knew about his brother? And with the FBI going like, you can't do that. The world can never really know why your nutbag brother murdered 57 people. So how would you shut him up? Arrest him for kiddie porn. Throw him in a federal jail, never to be seen again. There's no evidence we've ever heard anything else from any of the Paddock brothers. So all of that is happening there. What else do we have? Oh, gosh. Folks, there's so much. Supposedly today, Kakala is going to show up at the border. I'll tell you all about that, much more. Joe Doyle next.